Mm. Hey now, what's going on? It's Wednesday. Yes, it is, Charles.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, dude?
Doing well. I hope everybody is having a great week.
Absolutely. Or my way. How's your week going, dude?
Uh, Heat's breaking here. We're not sweltering and
I
passing out like
know.
we were last week. So I'm
I
happy for
know.
that. Work's a little crazy, and you know, it's a good night to be talking a little Van Halen.
I
No
know. It
doubt
is
about it.
always a good night to talk Van Halen. This is Halenville Live. It is September 14th, 2022, alongside Charles Green. Neil Daly will be along shortly. The lovely Sandra is here. Um, and we got a special guest for tonight. Dudes.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Got a very, very cool guest tonight. Very
Yeah,
interesting guest.
yeah, absolutely. Hope everyone's week is going good tonight. We're gonna have some fun with trivia tonight. Um, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the
You got a really
post.
good question.
I'll
And
not.
say this.
I'll not
This is a good one.
elaborate. Yeah, no.
Keith
I'll let.
Campbell. This is a good one.
Yeah, but as far as the question goes, yeah, that's a good one.
He
Um,
may know the answer, but he's going to have to at least think. Okay, let's just put it that way. It's not going to fall out of the sky.
yes, and we have a good prize in store. Again, I won't elaborate just yet, Charles Green.
Very cool. Very
Um,
cool.
but we'll get into all of that. Gonna be a fun night. Let's start by recognizing the chat there, Charles. I'm seeing at the bottom Ryan Hall.
It's good to see you, Ryan. How
Right
you
there,
doing, brother?
bro. What's
Right
up?
on, man.
Thomas Santiago is here. Christopher Live Sour.
Thomas.
Keith Campbell
Christopher.
in the house. My
Keith.
bro.
Right on, brother.
Jerry Leica.
Jerry. It's good to see you, Jerry. Oh,
Andy Carson
Andy.
in the house.
Right there, man.
Dude,
Right there.
Ed is right there.
It's good to see you, Ed.
Good to see you, Ed.
You
Happy
rock.
Wednesday.
You rock it,
Christopher
bro.
Live Sour. Have I said Christopher?
You did,
I
but you can
have.
say Christopher
I'll
twice.
say it
It's awesome.
twice. I'll even show it. How's
There you
that?
go. There you go.
Good to see you, bro. Always good to see. Dan of New
Good
Jersey.
to see
Good
you,
to
Dan.
see you,
You rock,
Dan.
bro. Right on, man.
All right, I'm trying to scroll upward to 5150 show. Andrew and the
Andrew,
boys are
right on,
here.
brother.
Hey, good to see you fellas.
Come on, man.
Andrew, Brad, Haas, the 5150 show. Their links are
All
down
those
below.
boys.
Check them out. He's got a couple of good shows upcoming. Really good Van Halen shows upcoming. Andrew on the 5150 show. Please go check him out. Um, yeah, I think this weekend. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, a couple good ones. All right, keep going. I'm trying to scroll up. Before I scroll down, Gret Zeppelin, hey, bro.
Good to see you, Gretch. Right on, man.
All right. All right. Hey, Daniel.
Daniel, what's up, brother?
Vanderlinden, nice to see you. Welcome, dude. Papa Blue, always good to see
Papa.
you.
Good to see you,
And
Papa.
at the top, yeah, I always try to scroll the top so you don't have to pop back to the bottom.
There you go. There you go.
Trying to get there.
I think
Kaboing.
uh,
All
I
right,
think you pretty much got everybody at this point.
there he is. Right on.
Yeah. Very
And there's, well, where is she? There's Sandra, but there's
right
Taylor.
there.
Yeah, ladies in the house tonight. Did you want to talk about Taylor later on too, Charles?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, hey, sweetheart. I just saw her pop in the chat. Good to see you, sweetie.
all
I
right.
don't see enough
So,
of my own daughter. Just putting it out there. I'd love to see more of Taylor. I don't get to see as much of her as I should.
and
why I'm telling you guys this. I have no idea. I just bare my soul when I get on this.
I know.
Yeah, I would like to do that though. I would like to do that.
Let's go ahead and proceed, Charles.
Yeah, we got a great guest tonight, man.
Yeah.
Very interesting dude. I mean, interesting. He's got a really good craft.
Yeah.
And he's cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Awesome dude. We all know him, but he is a great dude. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Lewis Fairfield Guitars. There he is.
Lewis.
Hey guys.
Welcome
Thank
to
you very much.
Halenville, bro.
You make me sound
Hey,
a lot
man.
more interesting than I am.
No, you're just humble. No, your backstory is very interesting, bro. It
Thank
really
you.
is, and the products.
Welcome, Lewis. Nice
you
to
make
see
them.
you, sir. Thank you for being here tonight.
Just
I,
top of
I have something that Charles doesn't have yet, though.
Oh, dude.
Ah,
And Charles needs one. Charles needs one very bad.
Charles will get one. Don't worry.
Thank you. Very cool, man.
right on.
Very cool.
He's
Right
got those
on.
names, yeah. He's got those names.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, everybody in the chat. I see everybody there. Thanks for coming to say hi. Yeah, too. I see everybody. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Very nice to see you guys. So, Lewis, this is a long time kind of coming. We all in the community have seen you and known you and seen your stuff and bought your stuff for a couple of years now. And
About a year now. Yeah.
yeah,
It hasn't been that long. It's amazing. It's since January, more or less.
yeah.
Mhm.
How's this thing start?
So COVID started this. It's COVID and 30 years of being a Van Halen fan. So I've been a Van Halen fan since 90, 91, more or less.
Mhm.
We were talking in the green room earlier, and I lived in Italy from 82 to 86. And my parents, I was born here, raised there, and then came back. And so I came back in 86, and that was the time that, Guns N' Roses was really going crazy. My brother was a big Kiss fan. And so that was my initial kick into the U.S. rock and roll coming back from Italy. And then I started taking guitar lessons at 10 years old. And my guitar teacher introduced me to Van Halen, and it was love at first sight.
Nice.
Excellent.
Way to go, Teach.
How fortunate were you to get a guitar teacher who introduced you?
Well, he wasn't that cool, because I listened to some Van Halen songs and I said I want to learn that, and he goes, "We have a little bit of work to do before you learn that."
Yeah.
So yeah, my first concert was like in 1991. It was the Foreign Lawful Carnal Knowledge. I grew up during that time, and just snowballed from there. I've been a Van Halen fan. I dropped off a little bit during the Sharon era. And then, COVID really, I was stuck at home doing nothing like all of us. And I have two kids. And after a while, you're like, what can I do? So I started striping up guitars again. I said, my daughter was interested.
Nice.
My daughter wanted to peel the tape off. I would go outside and spray paint it.
Yeah.
I said, you can't come outside because I don't want you to smell the fumes. But when it was dry, she was like, can I pull all the tape off? And so I said, anything to get her interested in what I'm doing and, keep her busy. And so it started from there. And then I had an opportunity. I found an opportunity for these buckle straps, the World War II bomber straps. And as I've mentioned many times before, they're new old stock. They're not made anymore.
Now, can I ask you a quick question about those?
Yeah, sure.
This is a strap that puts you on the planet. And if anything I'm saying is incorrect, just correct me, please.
No, you're right.
They're highly sought after in the Van Halen community, especially in the nerd end of the Van Halen community.
Yeah, you're right.
The strap buckle.
Yeah.
World War II.
I'm listening. I'm going to get it.
Was it used for aircraft? What was it specifically used for? If you know, and when you talk about you got a certain amount of it, there's got to be more of these things somewhere
So here,
Right?
I'll show you what it is.
How would you? What would they use that for?
So this was, so it's called a bomber chute. So basically what it is during World War II, the gunners in a plane that would shoot the guns would strap themselves in. So what happens here is it's a heavy piece of equipment. So it's, it was designed with, war in mind.
Yes.
This opens up and it buckles onto
a cable.
It actually buckled onto the plane. They would buckle themselves onto the plane and they would strap themselves in. Twofold. One is the guns would push them back while they were shooting them.
Sure.
And two is just in case there was a hole in the aircraft, you wouldn't get blown out of the aircraft.
Sucked out of the aircraft or anything like that. Wow.
Exactly. So
how many lives has that piece of equipment saved in war? So this is actual equipment that was used.
Yeah. So the buckles were used during World War II. The buckles that I have were new old stock. So they never saw war. They were just produced, put in a box somewhere, and left to rot somewhere.
I got you.
And so these were never, used. They were made by the U.S. government. I think actually in Alabama, Mississippi, somewhere in that area. And
what are they actually made of? What is that made of? Is it aluminum?
It's a heavy piece. It's not aluminum. It's got to be steel, but
I was going to say maybe possibly brass, but brass would be kind of soft, wouldn't it?
Brass would be super heavy too, but it's not brass. It's
okay.
I showed it to a friend of mine who works with he actually makes the fine tuners. He makes some brass fine tuners for Floyd Roses, and he looked at it and he goes, "It looks like it's a combination of steel and something because they do tarnish. We do have to clean these.
Okay.
And there's a good amount of them that are rusted." That just need some light surface cleaning.
Interesting. Okay.
And on some of them, you can even see, even after the cleaning, you see there's like a little triangle right there.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the inspection mark from the government.
Oh, wow.
So that's how light the cleaning is that you can still see that inspection mark on there. So anyway, I found somebody who had them. And, my brain just works the way that I'm like, I saw that before. Where have I seen that before? And as we were mentioning, I work in men's clothing, and so doing this stuff is easy for me because, I know people who can sew, I know people who can do the leather. It's part of the industry that I work in, and so I had them made. I worked with this gentleman out in California who had them made, and initially I made them one for myself just because I was a fan. And then a couple of friends of mine were like, "Hey, can you make me one? Can you make me one? Can you make me one?" And we made about 10 or 15 of them. And then it just snowballed. And then, if you go back on my Instagram, and the way I advertise is through Instagram. Facebook was only recent for me. But I've been on Instagram as Fairfield Guitar Company for years now. I got to go back and look. So, about a year ago. So this actually happened in September, October of 2021. I started working on these, and I launched them in January. So I launched 50. So my goal was never to start a company. My goal was just to make some for a couple of friends. And then Joe Summer, who runs Greenwich Music, he does the EVH
music. Yes, we know Joe.
He's about 10 miles away from me. I stopped in there one day and I said, I know you do the EVH Con. I actually went in. No, the story is I went in to check out an FU Tone guitar because he's the only one who had one.
That's right.
So on my day off, I drove. He had 3 of them. He had a yellow one. He had a bunch of them. And so we started talking. I'm a Van Halen fan. I'm making these straps. And he said, call Rob Johnson. Rob Johnson will give you all the information you need on it. And so I called Rob, and Rob had an original strap that was used during World War II. He actually had an original.
No way. Did he really? That really doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it doesn't. Now that I know him, it doesn't.
It's a Rob Johnson right there. Yep.
The next morning, I texted him late, maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night. And the next morning, I had a video of the strap backwards and forwards and what it looked like.
Wow.
And the actual ones that were used during World War II are much different than this. They were way shorter. They had different detailing on them. They had different stamps on them depending on what year they were used and which airlines they were used on. So this is the stamp that Eddie had on it. And so we copied that inspection September 50.
I gotcha.
And so that's and then the little writing that tells
so
you
that right there is period correct. That's authentic at this point. I gotcha. I gotcha.
And so the only thing that I did was I looked at old pictures and I copied this leather piece.
Okay.
Basically, I think this would be the end piece to like a acoustic strap where you can adjust
or any
it.
strap. Yeah,
Okay.
the
Or any
end
strap,
piece
right.
to any strap. Right.
I copied the exact shape from pictures of Eddie using it, and I had these
Okay.
made.
Okay.
So here you can I'll take it off to show you what it is. But obviously, you can put
Eddie probably did the same, just makeshift, just grab
correct.
something.
He probably just got it off of a strap and used
Right.
it. There's actually pictures of him using 2 different end pieces. So there's the end piece. And so Eddie didn't have all these holes. I actually had to add holes because, Eddie made one for himself.
Yeah, he made it just for his length and how he wanted it.
Exactly. So when I was trying to, sell them, I needed to make it that they could be adjustable to a couple of different people.
Sure.
And so I had the 4 holes made on them, and I made 2 different lengths. I made an extra long and a standard length.
In all of the straps that you're do you call it replicating? Is that the correct word? Replicate?
Yeah, I like to say replicate because I'm trying to get as close as possible. But obviously, because all of us wear our guitars differently, they need to be altered.
You're customizing them for functionality for the masses now. I get it. Sure.
Perfectly
You have to do that. You have to do that.
Perfectly said. Yeah.
Sure.
And so even today, I got some orders for the dog collar strap, and the dog collar strap, it's I need to go by size. I tell people, tell me what size length you want because
now
I have
correct me if I'm wrong. The dog collar strap actually has chain on both ends that comes out, and then dog hooks. Is that what you would call them? Okay.
So the snaps at the end.
Yes.
And I'm a little unprepared. I have everything here. It's just I don't have a full strap made up.
Right off the bat, my functionality question is, where does the adjustment come in? Because the original is nothing more than a strap of leather, fully studded. It hooks into 2 chains. The actual coupling mechanism, I'm not, in my mind, not clear on. Where would you adjust that strap at?
So what I do is, let's see if I have one here. I got it's called a quick link. It actually unscrews.
Okay.
So what Eddie used was a link that you have to attach with a vise. And so obviously Eddie made it for himself. So it was one link.
You mean you have to compress it? You have to turn the vise and compress it back together. So it's like a link that's open. You put it in, you press it back in, and that's the master link.
Let me help you maybe.
The first thing you're going to see is my bolt cutters because you need those to make them.
Wow.
Here, let's get it out because I'll show you the details on it. So here, this is how I organize my stuff. These are the links that Eddie, and what I do is I make these when I get an order. So
is it any of these here?
There's the little link.
Wow, I've seen one of those in my past, and I don't know where. Possibly on like a chain link fence when I was a kid, hanging out in the playground, or.
These were used to attach 2 different chains when one of the chains broke, or So what you do is you take this and you close it. Obviously, I can't even move it with my fingers, and it locks it in. And so that's one part of it. The second part of it is
so it doesn't bend easy. That's why you got to use a vise to clamp it down. Could you use like a pair? I mean, is it so hard to clamp that you couldn't do it with a pair of vice grips or a pair of channel locks? Vise, I got you. You got to crank that thing down. I get it.
To close it properly, you need a vise. Yeah, you could probably do it, but it's the way it works is to secure it, you really need a vise.
Gotcha.
So then that goes on to there, and when it's closed, it acts like a link, like one of the links in the and that's what Eddie used. So here, I'll even show you one of these. So these guys I bought like this, and I just submerged it. I just submerged it in vinegar overnight, and it comes out looking relic.
Wow, I get you.
So
slightly tarnished. Wow.
Yeah, I know this as well. And so then you attach this to a chain, and then I use a quick link on the other side so you can adjust it. So
I got you. So you would just take the quick link and you just run the chain link out however much and just let it hang, essentially. Correct. I got you.
I'll even show you what it is. I go to Home Depot and I buy these guys. It's just a regular chain link.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Very cool.
a standard. I like to get the stainless steel ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're a
They
little bit more
shiny.
expensive.
I got you.
But they don't stain.
They're cosmetically better.
Yeah, they're just a little bit nicer. And so that's the quick link. Basically opens up. You can get these at any store. These are the easy parts of that.
The thing, there's guys like, okay, for instance, I'm going to call Rob Johnson out.
Yeah.
All of his guitars are pristine. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They shine. They sparkle. But I like relic guitars. I like relic versions of those guitars, heavily relic. So having gear like a strap that would tarnish and would age and actually show its age is something more appealing to me.
So you bring up a funny concept because some of the buckles that rust, I was thinking of making into dirty up the strap and make it look like it was used for the last 50 years. Because 79, we're talking 40, 45 years or so.
Exactly.
And
it wouldn't look pristine. It was supposed to look weathered. Let me ask you another crazy question. Can you take like is there a way to, I don't know the answer to this. Can you take a clear coat and actually clear coat slightly rusted steel and just encapsulate it?
Yeah.
Sometimes in doing swimming pool repairs, I'm a pool guy. We have to go into the substrate and go into where the steel's tied, and you'll come across rusted steel, and we actually have to cut it out and replace it. Every once in a while, we can't do that. We have to do something, so we coat it, and then encase it, and that way it will not allow it to continue corroding.
Charles 75 in. What's up?
So is that something? Is that something that you can do to sort of?
I think you answered the question. You know how to treat metal better than I do. So I would guess there's
I don't think so, bro.
Yeah, this is you'll see some of my production because I didn't have them. There's a bunch of them.
Oh, dude.
So
Now, how thick is that leather? That leather's serious, man. That's
So this is actually 2 pieces of leather glued together because otherwise you'd see the back of the
yes.
You actually see the indentation on there where it's glued. Yeah. So this is actually a soft piece of leather because this is what rests on your shoulder.
Yes.
And so, but it's a thick piece of leather. It's for sure. It's a meaty piece, and you can slightly see a line going down, and that's the second piece of leather.
That's absolutely beautiful made, bro.
So I gotta make 2 of these tomorrow. So you can see I keep them in. I don't make them. I make them as needed. Because it's obviously it's easier to do it that way when you have to adjust lengths. There's no reason to make a bunch and then have to go back and fix them all. Plus,
sure.
In all honesty, they're cumbersome. The chain is not really a comfortable thing to wear. I don't know how Eddie did it because the chain that I use is actually it's thinner than what Eddie used. His was a really thick chain.
It had a lot of weight to it. It actually had a lot of weight,
I don't know if he was just young and didn't realize how much things weighed back then because he was stronger or more agile. But I actually sourced what I think was the right chain, and that thing was heavy.
Yeah.
But it dings up your guitar. It messes with your shoulder, and so there's something that I adjusted. I found a thinner link that was not as heavy. Yeah, you can see from here how thick it is. Holy cow, it's thick. But this was one of the hard parts to find.
Wow. Look at that chain. That's a serious chain, bro.
That is a serious chain. Yeah.
That's a serious dude hanging on Eddie's shoulder there, Mr. Steve Rosen.
That's right.
We love Steve Rosen, man. Very cool. Very cool.
Well, that's the hard part to find. This was the hard one to find.
Because of the
that shape. It's almost like a so I know they use this
gingerbread man or something.
It was used in equestrian horses.
That looks like something you get from I was going to say that. That looks like something you get from a tack store.
Yeah,
meaning equestrian horses.
Right, a tack
farm animals, possibly. And
I'll be honest with you, I didn't find it there. I found it somewhere. I can't tell you where I found it because this alone was about a month of my life researching, and
Wow.
my wife not talking to me because I'd run to hardware stores, I'd run to, I'd run to Home Depot, and I'd try to find this, and I finally found it. So that was the hard part to find. And there was a lot of good people out there that would send me pictures of, the old, because Fender, when they released the 78 Eruption, made 78 of them. And there's those 78 is what I used as
your template, essentially?
Inspiration, because the real one, we can only go by the old pictures.
Yes.
And so it was hard to find all these pieces, but it took, I think I started in like July of 2021, and by November I had found all the pieces.
Here's a question. How many versions of straps, EVA, if I can ask you this, how many versions of EVA straps do you actually do? I realize the number's liquid because, I don't know, I was asking you about something I just got that hot for teacher, and I was asking you about that. So there's another one.
So starting from the front, I made the bomber strap. So this let's go in year order too. Bomber strap and the dog chain were used about the same time.
Okay.
So there's pictures of the black and white Frankie with both the bomber strap and the dog chain.
And the dog chain.
And the dog chain, yeah, both of those. Then then he moved to the banjo strap.
Yes.
And the banjo strap he started using with the red, black, and white Frankie. There's pictures of him with the blur background. And he had a bunch of them. He had a couple of them. You can tell because, even when he went to South America and he used a Kramer ad guitar, he had a banjo strap with that too. Then there was a banjo strap that had a little rip in it. It's like I got a little indentation in it. Then there's a banjo strap with tape on it, and there's a banjo strap with the wireless wire coming down on it. So he had a bunch of those. And so then he did the banjo strap. Then I made, just for fun, during, as a kid, I remember watching Live Without a Net, which was taped 10 miles down the road here. It was in New Haven, Connecticut.
Hello, New Haven.
That's right. And I remember, my daughter saying,
"Were you there?"
I was not there. No, I was not there. So that was what, 80? It was probably 86, right?
86, yeah.
Yeah, it was 86. I was just coming back from Italy at that point.
Wow.
And I was living in New York City. I was a Bronx boy. I was not living anywhere close to New Haven. Was like, all the way up there when I was a kid. Now it's right down the street. So
I don't want to jump around, but I want remember in the back of your head. Continue what you're talking about, but remember, I want to talk about your training in your craft field as a young man and where that took you in clothing, because you took a really, really interesting path. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off though, bro.
No. So I remember watching that video and seeing this utility belt that he had. And I know you have a picture of it, but the utility belt, I have a whole bunch of them here, but I haven't.
Oh yeah, let me.
I haven't added the red parts yet. I'm still making them. They're right here in between. There's a red. When we see yours, so I have them made. That's right. I haven't added all the red pieces. So I have a bunch of them made, but again, I put them together when people order them.
And that red section, that's the adjustment. Is that the adjustable part that you had to?
It's really just a visual thing. I don't know. I don't know Ed's original strap, what it actually had. But what I do know is he needed something to hold his wireless system.
Are the buckles on that strap made of an aluminum, or are they made of like a plastic nylon?
It's plastic. They're all plastic.
Okay.
And so there's pictures of him. Let's see if I can bring one up, where he's wearing it, but he used it primarily to put his wireless system on it, the wireless receiver on it. And I always remember as a kid. There it is.
Very cool.
I always remember as a kid. I don't know why, paying attention to that belt and being like, "It's a cool belt." Where can I get it? Like, can I go to REI and get like a belt? Like, where is it? It's And so I ended up just sourcing all the pieces and I made it, and then I turned it into a strap. Because I said, "Who's going to wear it as a belt? Which 2% of Van Halen nerds are really going to wear it?"
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I can.
Hey, I wear my baggy pants with a belt, man.
Right?
That's right. The Cavaricis.
I'm one of them. People with my other stuff,
But yeah, so I turned it into a strap. I turned it like I would wear it too, but I turned it into a strap just because my mind just goes like, where can I go next? What can I do next? And you can see when you have a one-track mind and you're in that Van Halen world. It can get scary pretty quickly on how many things.
Let me ask you this: you being so close, do you go to EBH Con each year?
So this is what another item that got me started into it. Joe Summa had invited me to the EVH Con, which was in November of 2021, and my wife nixed it. My wife's like, COVID's still out there. I don't want you to go. The holidays are coming up. I don't need any stress. So I didn't go to that one. And I think it was very limited, too, compared to other he was nice enough to invite me because he said, I see your Van Halen influence, but I didn't go to it. And so this one that's coming up, I think it's going to be November 6th. And he was even nice enough to say, bring some of your straps, bring some of your stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'm looking for
awesome.
And my wife just looked at me and she's like, can we do something the weekend of November 6th? I said, I'm busy. Don't bother me. I have things to do.
Nice.
Any other weekend November, yes.
Well played, bro. Well played.
Be at EBH Con. Yeah. Good, dude.
So I think that's about it. And then I started making the Frankenstrap. The Frankenstrap was very short-lived at Eddie. It was a red, almost rope.
Would you happen to have one handy by any chance?
I'm actually all sold out of that, and it was my worst seller, so I wasn't making it anymore.
Amazing.
But the hard part with these straps is, I was actually just talking to Phil X about it. So I'll tell you another story with Phil X. I spoke to him this morning because I was working on one last strap, and I decided not to go forward with it.
Wow.
And he asked me why, because he was interested in it. And I said, because it's a pretty rudimentary strap, but it would have retailed over $100, and I didn't want to do that. It's a matter of, I don't want to take advantage of the people that are passionate like me. And $100 for what I was making, and I'll show it to you, was not right. It should have been something in $75, $80. But I want to make everything in the States. I want to be able to control the quality. And when you make stuff in the States, the price jumps up.
Well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Quality costs. And not to cut you off, but I made a comment to you earlier, and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Quality costs money.
Yeah.
It costs money. I can go and buy a pair of Italian-made loafers.
Yeah.
I can spend a fair amount of money on them. But they will last quite literally forever because they are able to be cobbled. You can take them to someone and have new soles put on them. They're a piece of clothing that lasts a lifetime.
Absolutely correct.
So you can't really put a standard price on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Things that are above and beyond, and that's what the kind of stuff you're producing.
That's the Frankenstrap.
Wow.
And so let's see if I have a picture of Eddie. There's Eddie using it.
Now, so this is a creation of Edward Van Halen. This is a strap.
This is all, and I am not trying to say I did not invent any of these.
I got it.
I refined them, but I studied pictures and I studied Eddie for so long that I've just been blessed to be able to connect all the dots to make these accurately.
What is that material again? And right there where it comes, jumbles it to where it would go over your shoulder. What is that specifically?
It's just a rope. It's
just the rope is just bundled together and bunched up in two spots, it appears, or one spot.
Yeah.
My goodness. It looks like he.
Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. You're gonna make me pull out some of my.
Hold on.
Of course I am.
Hold on, Charles.
You get to see my secret. So there's the red rope.
Oh man. Okay.
And he had
like a nautical rope, like something you use in like sailing.
Yeah.
It's got like if you were to take a lighter and burn the ends, it would kind of melt a little bit.
Correct. And he had a black tape wrapped around it, and then you just take a strap and you run it.
So he striped up the rope with black tape. What kind of tape? Gaffers or electrical?
I honestly couldn't tell, but that's basically what it is. And so,
Wow.
but the problem is finding that rope, finding the shoulder pad. Oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
And so, just to make a long story short, it's to make stuff in the States is not easy. And so this, I had to sell it $100. And for me, this should be something that should be $20, $30.
Yeah.
But these are hard to find.
Yeah.
This you can get pretty readily, but it's just when you add up all the details. And I'm happy to show you
how has the color stayed over the years? Because we're talking about something now is literally we're talking 44 years old. Am I sort of in the ball? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still the same color when you buy the rope? Is it like a pinkish? I would call that pink, deep pink.
I don't know anybody inside the Van Halen camp that can confirm what he still has and doesn't.
I wonder if that strap still exists and where it is.
It's funny. Hold on. I got somebody. Steve-O 5150.
Yeah.
I've
heard of Steve-O.
I sent him one, and that's basically what I made for him. Let's see if I can get. Where's my camera? There it is.
Oh, dude, that's cool. So you use the red. Is that like red gaffer's tape?
Yeah, that's the red tape that I put on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks, Steve-O. So,
that is awesome.
And the hard part with these straps is Eddie made them at home. He used what he had, and the combination of being made in the States and trying to find things that were around in the 1970s and making them in the U.S. I feel bad charging $100 for that strap. It's not worth $100. It's worth it to us because we're passionate and we can't find it anywhere. Yeah. But this thing that I was making, again, going back to that point, I didn't want to continue with it because I felt like a crook charging $100 for something that should be $60.
Yeah. What? I got to tell you, it's worth $100 because you're making something that you cannot go out. Okay, look, you're making something. You're compiling stuff from these different places. You're putting it together and you're making something out of that stuff. Okay, that right there is effort, massive effort. Okay.
The fun part is my effort is a passion, so I really don't care about that.
Well, you know what I'm saying, and your wife has to put up with you. So right there's a dollar amount right there as well. Okay, so we
have Lewis's links and his.
I mean, I got to tell you, there's people out there who pay $50 for a bottle of hot sauce signed by Michael Anthony, and I got to tell you, his signature's worth more than $50.
Yeah.
Okay, to me. So it's all about who you're dealing with. I got to tell you, don't feel bad about the $100 on the strap, bro. I got to tell you, just to have it, not even to put it necessarily on a guitar, but just to have it and hang it up.
Yeah. And you know what I've noticed over the past couple of months? Nobody's really using these. Everybody's collecting them.
Yeah.
The bomber, yes. The bomber, I see people use them. But like the dog chain, it's pretty uncomfortable to wear a chain. Like the only person who I know did it is Philip Schaus. He's with Accept. And I gave him one, or he actually bought one before I got in touch with him. And he used it throughout the whole European tour for Accept with one of his guitars. And you got to give him credit. It's not an easy strap to use on tour.
No, it wouldn't be.
You got to give credit even to Eddie. He used it very, often.
Banjo strap's very comfortable. That's
I have to say, the banjo strap is the most comfortable thing I've ever owned.
Yeah.
And it's a nice soft leather, and I can see why Eddie used it for so long because it's lightweight, it's durable. I don't have one here to show you because I'm getting them in about another week. I'm making more. But yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. But let me go back to this. So I'll show you what I did. So this is the strap as we know it. So one of the first questions I got earlier this year is, I'm interested in it. Is it going to ruin my guitar? And Mike Hickey, who we all know as Joe Bonamossa's guitar tech, but Mike Hickey is a huge Van Halen fan.
Okay.
He answered the guy before I did, and he said, absolutely, it's going to ruin your guitar. Because this thing, it's a heavy piece.
Yeah.
The mentality is if you're looking to keep your guitar pristine, these are not for you.
No.
Eddie used these. His guitars were, as we know, beat to crap. But there is that segment of the market who wanted to collect these. And I'm also the type of guy that I don't like to put eye hooks on all my guitars. Some guitars I like to keep with the strap locks. Like I have a Circles guitar. I don't want to put eye hooks on it. Mm-hmm. I don't. So what I did is I made this.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's just a black leather end piece with, it's the same strap, same details. Just
it's got the period correct details. It's just, you just don't have to, you can just use strap lock.
Correct.
Which is very functional.
But this is the one I decided not to go forward with. So it's it's got an adjustable strap, so you can adjust it here. Unlike the original one, it's got 2 buckles at the end. But I decided not to go forward with. And
why?
One was the price. One was definitely the price, but 2, it's also a conversation that we wanted to get into.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop making these because as a fan, I feel like I've not abused, but I'm now feel like I'm taking advantage of making these. One for the Van Halen camp, and 2 is for personally that it's not my design, and I don't feel comfortable doing them anymore. Okay. And one guy on Facebook, he upset me yesterday because he says, "Oh, that's just a marketing tactic so you can sell more straps." And obviously, this person does not know me. No, I'm not making anymore. I'm moving on to other things. This was a great leap into other things, and it's led to conversations with some other people. Sure. And so now I'm looking to further my brand into maybe designing a strap with a famous musician and offering a limited edition strap with musicians, and have 3 or 4 different musicians design their own straps.
Your straps, in fact, everything that you produce is as high quality as it can be. There's a word that keeps coming to mind when I see all the stuff that you're using. I realize you're emulating straps that Eddie, had this stuff and he put it together and he made a strap out of it, and that's what you're emulating.
Hello, Stafford.
What's hey, Stafford, what's going on, bro? It's good to see you. The word tensillary strength comes to mind. You're manufacturing products that have incredible weight capacity. They last. They are supposed to be indestructible to the point that they will destroy your guitar when you fasten it to it to keep it essentially from flying off your strap and flying and hitting the floor.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the products that you make are absolutely over the top.
Thank you.
The reason that you have such a buzz about you is not necessarily, I'm just talking right now. I'm just talking. This is me making an observation about what we're talking about and you as a person and what I've encountered with you.
Thank you.
You turn out high quality gear. Everybody wants it. You turn this high quality gear out in a fashion of Edward Van Halen, the things that he did, the nerd stuff that we love so dear.
Yeah.
You not only embraced it, but you took it for several touchdowns, one after the other.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And that is why right now your future, deciding not to go forward with what you've been doing for the last several months, is going to be okay.
Well, thank you.
Because your reputation is spotless. The fact that you had a moral feeling, I'm going to call it, I'm not going to label it, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying. You're feeling that you don't want to do this anymore for yourself. I totally respect that, bro.
Louis, let me say this.
Yeah.
When us, and I'll say all of us and everyone watching, and when you replicate your favorite Eddie Van Halen guitar and the straps and everything, you want it period correct. There are some that were, like the bomber stuff. You can't get that stuff no more, just like the song says. Correct. So that was ruled out of your brain from the start, even thinking those thoughts until you came.
Correct. So the bomber, to a good point, is that I already knew the bomber had a limited availability because I know how many bomber links there are. I know how many are left of these. And even another guy said, "Oh, you're going to stop because there's no more of these." No, there's more of these. I just don't want to make them. And I think it's hard for people to try to understand, why don't you want to make them anymore? And it's a respect thing. I respect Eddie and the camp that Eddie lives in, the Defender EVH camp, to say, I'm taking advantage of it now. Like I've learned enough that I can start doing my own thing without leaning on Eddie. But at the same time, Eddie's in me. I have a year of Eddie straps in me. So that influence is going to come out in future straps too. You know, like we might make a dog collar strap with the same buckles, but in a different manner.
Yeah.
And it's the same way I look at music. You know, we steal different licks from different musicians to make our own thing. You're kind of doing the same thing. You know, we've all done that. Right? You know, Eddie Van Halen copied himself, for God's sakes. The beginning to Top of the World is the ending to Jump. You know, it's the same. He copied himself.
Awesome. That's so cool you brought that up. So also, every strap you've shown could be in a different color.
It could be.
I've seen,
I don't think I'm going to go that direction. Maybe the banjo strap, yes, because the fabric is so nice.
Well, and it is. Yeah. But let's go back to the bomber. Yeah. Let's go back to the one that you made of the bomber that doesn't have the actual coupling, but it just has for a locking. So that's very simplistic in design. It's simplistic, but it's so high quality. So I mean, you could take that thing and throw it over a beam and hang on it like that with your hands, and it would handle your weight.
I'll tell you the funny part about the webbing. The webbing is a World War II webbing, which was reproduced. That black line in the middle. You see that black line in the middle there?
Yes.
Here, I'm going to give myself a Fairfield guitar. That black line was a safety. That when the bomber buckled himself in, if that black line broke, you knew the whole strap was going to come apart.
Oh, interesting. So that is like that's what tells you everything's cool with the strap.
Right. So if you're a bomber and you see that black line break, you know that you got to get another strap on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting. This thing can hold, I think, 10,000 pounds. So I don't know any Les Paul that weighs 10,000 pounds. I know they're heavy, but they're not that heavy.
So Louis, you were ahead of us. We saw the social media post a couple of days ago, but they have done quite well. And when they appeared on our radar, then like, wow, the world can get stuff that we could never get before.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. We were mentioning before how I had the opportunity to meet Phil X a couple months ago. And one of the things that he said to me is between 1977 and 2021, nobody thought about this. And he goes, you thought about it. And that's why he liked using them, because he's like, I'm a Eddie fan. We all know he used the bomber, but nobody really understood what it was. You know, we've all seen the pics of him, the Niels Laws pics of him in the studio and on live, and we all knew there was bomber, but nobody really made the effort to not made the effort. I don't think people just realized. And it's how we discussed before. You know, after years and years and years of being an Eddie Van Halen fan, I'm even learning about new things about him.
With that said, though, there has not, if you think about it, been a lot said or talked about the whole evolution of this from 1977 on.
Yeah, there's straps.
What he used, and he was not kind on most of them too.
Yeah, but you know the interesting part about the straps is he approached it exactly as he approached his guitars. He was trying to make something to achieve his goal. And just like he put together the Frankie, he was trying to make a strap that wouldn't come off his guitar. He was basically trying to invent a locking mechanism before, Schaller strap locks were invented. He was trying to invent, how do I jump on stage without my guitar falling off my strap? And he was inventive about it. Just like he threw a humbucker in a Strat, he said, and I'm guessing that there must have been a military, like a an Army Navy surplus store by his house.
Surplus store, sure there was.
Yeah. There's three things that remind me of it: the bomb that he had his rack system in, this strap, and there's also pictures of everybody in the Van Halen, even David Lee Roth, everybody in the band wearing like a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing in Pasadena somewhere or somewhere that he associated with, there must have been an Army Navy store, and he just grabbed a couple of pieces in there. I'll be honest with you, the other stuff, the dog collar strap, I think there's some conversations about being like an S&M collar that he got at a store. Most of it looks to me like it's just he had a dog and there was a collar and he just used it. You know, he just said, "Oh, that's going to be comfortable here."
Wow.
Because even the yellow, the bumblebee strap, which we forgot to mention before,
Yes.
that to me looks like a dog strap, like a strap you would walk your dog with. And we know Eddie had a fascination with dogs.
Do you happen to have a bumblebee strap anywhere handy by any chance?
I have one. I have one that doesn't have the black.
That's okay.
Yeah. So this is what I did is I added this adjustment.
Sure. And so that's really the only functionality mod that had to be done to it.
Correct. The other thing that Eddie did is on this one, he had like a piece of terry cloth put on here after a while because I guess, on his shoulder after a while it bothered him.
Sure.
And then I sewed these myself. I broke out the sewing machine and I made these.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
And so again, very simple, but this was the hard part, trying to find the correct yellow color, the correct yellow width.
Sure.
And even it's funny because some people mentioned to me, "Oh, it's just a yellow strap with black tape on it." And I tell people, not to be facetious, but I say, go do it. If it's that easy, go make it. And one guy said, "I'm going to try to do it myself. And then if I can, I'll buy yours." And I said, "Go for it." And about 3 weeks later, he called me and said, "Where do I pay?"
There you go.
And I said,
There you go.
But it's also a matter of getting the right things. So the thing that really drove me nuts is the electrical tape that was on here is not electrical tape you can find at the hardware store. Most hardware store electrical tape is about 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah.
I didn't use an inch thick.
Yeah, you went to an electrical supply house or?
Well, at first I thought it was gaffer's tape.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, it can't be gaffer's tape because sometimes in pictures it shines, and gaffer's tape does not shine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a matte almost.
That's right. It's cloth. It's cloth essentially.
Cloth, exactly. And so I had to look again. My wife not speaking to me for 2 weeks of who sold 1 inch wide electrical tape.
Yeah.
And so here's Steve sending me another picture of his that's completed.
See, I've been seeing 1 inch wide electrical tape my whole life because I've been around I'm not an electrician, but I've been around electricians. Yeah. And they typically will have a roll of 1 inch electrical tape on their belt.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So making these bumblebee straps, where do you get all the buttons of Zeus from? I mean,
the zombie.
You make
pin.
those? The zombie.
Pins, yeah.
But
I had those.
Do you make those?
Yeah, I have the zombie pins made. I had it's basically it. The bumblebee is pretty simple strap. It's just finding the right yellow because as Steve points out, I don't know why I'm getting this glare on my phone here, but as Steve points out, it's got to match. It's got to match the yellow of the. There it goes. It's got to match the yellow of the stripes.
Yes.
It can't be a totally different color. It's in fact you
could actually find it that color is really kind of baffling. It's really
again it's the industry I work in and just to give you a little bit of hint, you got to work with belt companies. I work with a lot of belt companies. Mm-hmm. I work with a lot of bag companies who have
they deal with nylon and straps and things like tensillary strength.
Correct.
Where you can put weight into a garment bag. A considerable amount, and the handles won't just pull right off. Correct. It's all calculated in the actual fabrication of whatever it is that's being made.
And it certainly helps that I know how to sew.
And the fact you can do that, and I mean, imagine you're using not just like sewing equipment, but this is a little bit on a commercial level, isn't it?
No.
Hello, Lenny Lou.
Yeah.
Lenny, Mary, we love you guys. Sorry, bro.
No worries. Hi, everybody. For the Bumblebee strap, for sure, it's just a household sewing machine.
Gotcha.
My mom asked me about 5 years ago what I wanted for Christmas, and I said a sewing machine. She said, "What?"
What?
I said, "I want a sewing machine." I said, "I work in this industry. I might as well have one." And the first year I had it, my wife asked me to cut all the the blinds in our house to length properly, and then I was I don't want to sew blinds anymore. So, but I work for a clothing company, so you have to alter pants, you have to alter shirts, you have to alter sleeve lengths, and it's helpful to know how to do that.
And it's finite things are smaller. It's like the hem on a leg. It's small and tight.
And I'll be honest with you. Listen, this is not the cleanest job ever. It does the job.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a shirt, and this gets covered with tape, that's why I was pretty quick about doing it.
Gotcha.
See, it's not like a perfect square, but it's covered with tape, and nobody's going to see it. And as long as it holds, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's there.
And so some things I get really anal about, but some things I don't. But when you're altering a sleeve on a $700 shirt, it can't look like that.
Nope. Yeah, so you have the ability to do the high end quality work.
I don't.
And you can do it when you need to. When you need to, it's there.
Yeah, but for sure for the bomber straps are sewn, and they're done by somebody who knows how to sew that webbing.
I got you. Well, they can't. I don't think they can just use a standard sewing machine for those.
No, in fact, there's Singer sewing machines. Yeah, there's Singer sewing machines that the U.S. government used during World War II. So it's
thank you.
It's very correct. But even here, I'll show you something even cooler. So you see that X?
Yeah, you see how clean the X is too.
Yeah, because that's
a rectangle.
Correct. This webbing is not nylon because they didn't have nylon in the 1940s. It's cotton covered with wax.
Wax covered cotton, so it's like dental floss.
Correct. So that makes it super, 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 hard.
Wow.
And so when you need to hold 10,000 pounds, that was the way to do it. And the X obviously provides a little bit more strength when you're pulling on something.
When you think about grabbing a thread, knotting it up in your fingers, and you snapping it and seeing if you can break it. When you can't break a single thread.
It's two pieces sewn together. It's not one piece.
Hello, Janice.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Nice to see you.
But that adds to the structure of the strap. Putting two together gives it a structure, I imagine.
It also
makes it very comfortable.
It makes it more comfortable on your shoulder for sure. Yeah.
Very
as opposed to here, this was the one, the replica that I made. That's just one piece. I made it one piece.
Yeah. Now, so devil's advocate, I do that from time to time. So that strap right there, if it was not necessarily in that color, let's say it was in a black or a really nice fire engine red or a yellow like the Bumblebee, orange would be cool. Maybe orange with some black for Halloween. I don't know. That would be a great strap. Yeah, it's just a generic style, though, at that point. You're talking about just a really, really well-made, durable strap that's going to outlast everything.
Correct. Well, listen, I also always, in the back of my head, I'm a Kiss fan. I'm a Pink Floyd fan. I'm a Rush fan. I'm a Van Halen fan. So those couple of bands influenced me. And so going forward, obviously, I'm going to be influenced by those guys. I'm not going to try to copy anybody anymore. I'm going to be influenced. Like Alex Lifeson has a strap. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed. It's a thick strap that goes to really thin.
Okay.
And I think Levy's used to make one. But the concept of a strap that goes immediately from thick to thin is something that is interesting to me, as opposed to one that's like more teardrop.
Okay.
So I'll get influenced by things like that, but I won't recreate exactly the same thing.
Interesting.
So just like I'll take the solo to a Van Halen song and use a couple of notes, change the tempo, change a little thing around, and it's still there, but it's not there.
I got you.
And again, we all do it to some form of another. My dad used to tell me, you're going to grow up to be the people you admire the most. So if you like Charles and Tony, and Charles and Tony do something that you like, you're going to do that too.
Yeah.
And that's
we emulate one another.
Correct. So now it's Louis, Charles, and Tony, but you put your own spin to it. But if you see Charles doing something that you don't like, you're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's basic human, wanting to be able to copy somebody or respect somebody and do that. And I don't look at it as I'm trying to make money off of Eddie. I'm trying to look at it as I'm using Eddie as inspiration for what I'm doing.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Hey, you know what we have in the chat? Janice Lala. I love you, Janice. She has a question. I'm going to read her question. Can you make her a weighted strap that will prevent neck dive, or I guess counter neck dive?
So the good part about that is it depends on the guitar.
Good question.
I think are you talking about, Janice, you talking about your Telecaster or an acoustic? What are you talking about specifically, sweetheart?
Yeah, it's so like I can make one for a double neck, but it probably won't apply to, what's a heavy neck, like an Explorer is not a heavy neck. An SG. I find some SGs
would be a neck heavy guitar, yes.
Yeah. So
or a bass, like a Firebird bass.
Yeah, my bass.
Yeah, but my experience with neck heavy guitars is the placement of the strap button. That's the issue. It's not the strap. It's the placement of the strap button.
Yes.
And we can see it, but a lot of people change the strap buttons on some of the guitars.
So
you put them right down by the
stop right there. Stop right there. So through history on various of Eddie's guitars, he changed locations many times.
Correct.
Was that because he was compromising the wood in various places that he was screwing, or was it to counter something else?
Well, I look at it two ways. One is it could be that the hole was just too compromised, that he drilled into it too much. But I also look at it as when remember he had the what was that laminate piece that held his guitar up?
Yeah.
Oh, the
tray.
The tray. You have to think he's got to put the strap placement in a different place if he wants his guitar to stay that way. So on the 5150 it was in the back.
Yeah.
I got to go look at the picture with him with the tray if he had it on the
button. The button's tucked back under.
If it's on the back, then that would be trying to lean the guitar forward. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't think. I don't say this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't think he gave it that much thought. I just think he did.
No, he probably experimented a bunch at home and had it to where it would stay balanced and stay put, and he just wanted the damn strap out of the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
Janice,
also, going back to Janice, I think a lot of the neck dive thing is too. It's not sandpaper, but there's fabric that you could put on the inside of the strap so it doesn't slide. Suede is really good for heavy, neck dive guitars because suede grabs on, but sometimes it can pull your clothes and make it uncomfortable that way too. I don't think there's a perfect answer for it other than
how much weight is that chain gonna offer her back there?
It's a trial and error.
The front part and the back part.
Did she answer which guitar she's using?
She's saying it's the resonator, and it's a weight on the back side, is what she's saying.
So is it a wood resonator or is it a metal resonator? I hope it's not a metal one because those things weigh a ton.
I think it's a metal resonator. I think she's talking about a guitar I saw she just got.
Then put it on your lap.
It's beautiful.
Aren't the resonators supposed to be played on your lap?
I may have it wrong, but I saw her post something the other day of a beautiful guitar. Nice. And I think that's what she's referring to. No, it's wood. She says it's wood. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't weigh as much. I don't know if I can build you something. I'll be honest. I don't want to tell you yes and then not be able to. I think it depends on a bunch of different things. It depends on the strap placement. It depends on even the height that you wear it at. A lot of us play sitting down and expect the guitar to be in the same place when we stand up, and it's not. But neck heavy it's been an issue. Wider straps are always more helpful. Because they can be light. Like the banjo strap, if I made it in like a 3 or 4 inch, depending on how much space she has here for her shoulder.
Well,
on.
Janice also wears her guitar up a little higher. She doesn't, she's not got it slung down like Slash.
Yeah.
So that's also a different dynamic as well.
Correct. So I don't have an honest answer for you. I'm sorry, Janice. It's trial and error.
We love you, Janice.
Hey, kids, guess what?
Is it trivia time by any chance?
What time is it?
Might be getting close to trivia time.
What time is it? That time. Yes, it is. We are going to play some Van Halen trivia. Yeah. But so for tonight, the question, what we're going to give away is this.
Dudes.
Yes.
Dudes.
Lewis, what are they looking at right there?
You're looking at the utility strap. So I've also added 2 more pieces to the strap. That is basically
cool.
the belt that Eddie used during the 5150 tour. You can clearly see it on most pictures from that tour and on Live Without a Net. Specifically when he used the Steinberger, because the guitar being smaller, you can see more of the strap. But what I did is I turned it into a guitar strap, so you can wear it as a belt or you can wear it as a guitar strap. But it's the utility belt from the 5150 tour.
Awesome, and thank you for supplying the trivia prize for tonight. There's an email down below, trivia winners email. If you win this strap, email me your name and address, and we'll mail you out this nice strap. Let's look at it again. There's a link for this strap and maybe a nicer picture of it.
I got to tell you, I've never wished I was in the chat so bad as this moment right now. And these moments come up a lot, but this moment now.
No, don't, man. Don't. I knew he was going to do it.
And there's a bunch of guys on the strap. I see Steve-O commenting already that have the strap. And I have to say, it's pretty cool. Steve-O has a Rasta that I painted for him. And this strap looks killer with that.
That's so good. That's just nice, man.
So I ran the question by these 2 fellas before the show, and
guys,
they were stumped.
I got it wrong.
So yes,
somebody's gonna earn this one big time.
Yeah. So they're saying I wrote a good one, and all the while I kept telling them how good you guys in the chat are each week.
This is very true.
And how ever increasingly difficult it is to write these Van Halen. They win every week. Once, how many times? Only once or twice, right, Charles? They win every week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Every week. There's only been once or twice where they haven't gotten it.
And
this is a savvy bunch, man.
I always talk shit and say that I'm going to get them tonight.
Well, that's just fun, though. We got to do that anyway. We're going to do that anyway. We're going to talk a little shit. But
I got you tonight. I got all of you.
He might have you.
I got you tonight. All right. Here we go. Let's dive into this. Now, the only hint I'm going to give you is read the question carefully.
Yeah, read the question carefully.
Read it carefully, guys. Adam Roach, it's good to see you, brother.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, we'll be talking about Adam and to Adam here shortly. I don't have my chat up right now, but I'm looking at this question. Are you ready, guys? You ready, Charles?
Take a deep breath, you guys.
All right.
Let's do this.
Nice prize on for tonight. September the 14th, 2022, Van Halen trivia or tonight. This song, written by Eddie Van Halen in 1984, never saw the light of day on any Van Halen album, but did receive a Grammy nomination. Name the song.
Read it twice.
Read it twice, please.
And I see a lot of people. I see all your questions on the chat, by the way. I will be happy to answer anybody and everybody if you send me. If I can't answer here on my Instagram.
And I have to go ahead and grab this because I know a winner's coming soon.
I'm reading the chats, by the way, so I'm not ignoring you guys. Oh, we have the
All
buckle
right.
strap. I didn't talk about the buckle strap.
We're going to.
And ladies and gentlemen, see, I
Interesting.
knew it wouldn't be long. I knew
My
it.
goodness.
I knew it. I
My
knew it.
goodness, man.
Nice.
There it
Andy
is.
Carson,
Andy
dude.
Carson.
I am not
Ba-boom.
surprised, Andy.
Wow.
Wow, got it. Very nice.
He rocked it.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
got it.
I guess human beings, but that was in the 90s, not
There's
86.
Taylor right behind him, and Ed right behind her, and Lenny Lou right behind her.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Andy, right on, dude.
Dude.
Congratulations, dude.
Andy
Yeah.
rocked, dude.
Let
Absolutely.
me show you
rocked.
this. Let me show you a picture of this strap again. There it
You
is.
tried, sweetheart. You still made me proud, baby. You're good.
Right on.
That is so cool. Andy,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. So, hey, if Andy wants to send me his address, I can send it directly to him.
That's awesome. That is
All right.
awesome. My goodness.
I've got Andy has won here on the show before.
Couldn't have gone to a more awesome dude either.
Yeah, man.
All our whole chat is awesome, and I don't mean, but you guys know what I mean. Andy's awesome.
They
and
are.
That's so cool.
So
cool.
yeah, you kind of knew it was
Okay.
going to be a one.
That's great. Congratulations.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah. So
Wow.
Andy is awesome. Andy is a firefighter in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yes, he is.
Station 5. Proud. Yes, sir. He is.
Yes, he is.
We will send this out. Andy, thanks for watching, bro. Good to see
Very
you.
cool,
And thanks
man.
for everybody for playing tonight and being here and watching. Always lovely to see all of you every Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah. Charles, don't let me forget to mention Adam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's Adam.
Yeah, there's Adam right there. Yeah, don't forget to mention Adam, by the way. I won't let you forget.
All right. Please don't let me
forget. I won't let you forget. I promise. I promise.
Yeah. So Lewis, so if you started this and this began in COVID, now us live streaming here was really a product that started in COVID also.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
We started in 2020 here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and I've watched a ton of your shows, but I didn't know you were that young. Let's say.
Yeah, only a couple of just 2 years in.
Nice.
A couple summers ago. So you're saying that you're gonna cease operations completely. That is quite a.
Wow. I got to tell you, I'm a little bittersweet on it. I really am.
Yeah.
Listen, just to be clear, so the bomber's still in production. I should have it on Friday, and then I got to put them together and ship them out probably by Monday or Tuesday next week. And the hard part about announcing that I'm not making them anymore is that I'm not fully stocked in them yet. I still have some outstanding orders coming in because I don't make all these straps. I design them and I work with some of the people that I know in my industry to make them. And one of them is coming. Oh, the banjo strap is coming in about a week or two. And I tend to do runs of 50 because I want to keep the quality where at 50 you can control I can do
You're
quality.
about to say control every stitch. That's
no,
what you're
I
about
would
to
love
say,
to. Yeah,
weren't you?
that was a Freudian slip. But when I get 50, what I do is I put them on the table and I inspect all 50 of them.
Sure.
And so when I don't want to order 200 because then it'll take me a week to do it. But if I order 50, it'll give me enough time to sell through them and monitor them and make sure that they're quality.
Cool.
So I'll have, and so the hard part about announcing that I won't make them anymore is that I'm taking pre-orders on 2 straps, on the banjo strap and the bumblebee. So it's funny how I'll take orders, but I don't have them yet, and I'm not going to make them anymore. So it can get a little confusing, but it was my personal comfort level. I needed to get it off my chest that
that's okay.
I want to stop this, but
okay.
I do still have more. I was hoping to have enough to last me through EVH Con.
Yeah,
sure. Looks like they will. They don't fly off the shelves, but you get a couple every day. But EVH Con's November 6th, and I'm hoping to have a couple there too.
Well, as a greedy consumer who doesn't care about anyone else but the chat and myself, you're still going to be producing high quality gear. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So, here's another funny thing. I got not pigeonholed. I'm known as the strap guy, but the straps are new to me, and I've been making straps since the bomber in November of last year. I was never really a strap guy. It's just the straps with the combination of what I do for my day job is really what did it. But I've been putting together guitars. I don't make guitars. I like buying pieces and putting them together and setting them up. And I've been painting guitars for a while. If you go back on my Instagram, you'll go back a couple of years. The last thing I'm not doing is I'm not playing guitar because I'm doing so many other things.
Well, I don't know you as a strap guy. I know you as a custom clothing guy.
There you go.
You actually made a pair of Eddie Van Halen denim jeans with leather patches that are absolutely killer.
I will never make another pair again. Those things were hard to make.
Yeah, but
so
when you want to go full nerd, that's really what you have to have if you're a true Eddie Van Halen fan. I'm just going to ask you a question. Has Rob Johnson got a pair yet?
No, he hasn't.
No, they're next on his list, I'm sure.
Let me ask you this, Louis. When Ed passed, you were just getting going. What were was it gaining ground then? What were your thoughts on it in the early stages?
This whole strap thing came after Eddie passed away. So when did he pass away? Give me the dates. I'm not good with dates. Do you guys know?
October 6th.
October 6th.
Oh. So yeah, it was. I was doing some research right before then. So yeah, it kind of hit. I guess I was in the middle of it now that I think back at it. Yeah. It's funny. I tell the story that for 2 days after he passed away, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't talk to my wife. I didn't talk to my kids. It's like I needed me time for a little bit. And then the third day, my son came up to me and he's like, "Daddy, why are you so quiet?" Because you haven't played your guitar in a while. And I played Unchained, and there's a video on Instagram of my kid just going like this and me playing Unchained. And that got me out of it. I'm like, all right, now it's time to play again. I had my 2 days of mourning. Now it's time to listen. There's certain people that you remember in your life always. For me, growing up as an Italian was Pope John Paul II. He was the only Pope I knew. When he passed away, I was like, I didn't know any other Pope. And I'm not extremely super Catholic, but it's part of the culture and it's part of who's in your rearview mirror. Queen Elizabeth's another one. I don't know any other king or queen in my lifetime.
Nope.
She was the only one. Right. And there's people that when you talk about guitar gods, and obviously being a guitar player, he's the one that comes up. I tend to play more like Gilmore. I'm more of a bluesy based player. I'm not a fast player. In fact, I was talking about practicing a little bit more. I brought a PV new old stock body to CHS guitars. And he gave me his guitar and he said, "Play me something." And I just drew a blank. I said, "I haven't practiced in like 3 weeks. I don't know what to play you." plus he had the wet dry system going on. So he's like, something from
Goodness.
unlawful carnal knowledge would be nice. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember anything. It's like being put on the spot. And so I got to playing. I got to, my particularities of my situation is I moved to Fairfield, Connecticut, right before COVID. And so when COVID hit, I didn't have a chance to go out and meet musicians in my community. I couldn't go to open mic nights. I couldn't get together with anybody. And that's when the strap started. And so ever since I moved to Fairfield, Connecticut, I haven't had a system until now to go out and meet other musicians. Wow. And so I really haven't played in a band in 5 years, 6 years. And if you don't practice every day like I used to, you lose your chops after a while. And I've been losing my chops.
But when you start to practice again, you will get them back because you had them.
Absolutely. And listen, it comes back pretty quickly because the muscle memory is there. And I've been playing since I was 10 years old. So I'm 45 now. It's 35 years of muscle memory.
There you go.
It does come back quickly, but you still need to practice. You still need to do it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, you need to cut the red light on first.
Yeah. So, so part of this is also, I just bought this little Soldano here, and I gotta spend the day with it this weekend just to play and practice. And
excellent, man.
But playing is what it's all about, right? It's not about straps or guitars. It's about playing.
It's about all of that.
Yeah.
It's about all of this. It's about this community and everything we talk about and all the little things. And is it gaffer's tape or inch wide electrical tape? That's what we do.
I'll tell you something cool that happened to me yesterday. I get a message on my Instagram from this young man. Now I know he's 13 years old, but I didn't know when I was talking to him. And he wanted a bumblebee strap. He was asking me what would Eddie use with the black and yellow guitar. And so
a 13-year-old kid contacted you for a bumblebee guitar strap.
Yeah, and so
that's cool.
I didn't have one made up, but I had the pieces to make one for him. And I said, you know what? I'll make one for you. And then he told me he's 13, and I said, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble with this 13-year-old kid. And then he said, he's 2 towns over, and he said, my dad's going to pick it up so I can save on shipping charges. And I go, no problem. I'll meet your dad. And as soon as I met his dad, I go, how cool is your kid that he's 13 years old, listening to Van Halen and buying bumblebee strap? He actually bought. I have a Seymour Duncan EVH humbucker, the electronically voiced humbucker, and he wants that too. And I said, how cool is this 13-year-old kid?
That's just good parenting.
So I looked at his dad. I'm like, I'll give you a discount, anything for a 13-year-old kid. I know he doesn't have the money for it, but if the passion's there, I want to support this kid, right?
Wow.
Don't everybody come out saying
a 13-year-old kid would be that tuned in on a strap, wanting the strap for that guitar. That just goes to show you how massively awesome Edward Van Halen is and what a footprint he left.
Correct.
That's just getting bigger and bigger. It hasn't diminished. His legacy is bigger than it was right after he passed away right now.
And I say it with a little bit of guilt saying this, but his passing probably brought a lot more people to pay attention to him.
It's funny how that happens sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. It happened with John Lennon. It happened with John Lennon.
It happened with Hendrix too, didn't it?
Yeah, with Hendrix too, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
So I'm glad for it. Listen, I want 13-year-old. My kids are not into Van Halen. They are and they're not.
Yeah.
My son's been.
How old are the kids? Have they like gotten into their music? Are they old enough to where?
My daughter's into music. My son's into sports. My son's 9. My daughter's 11. But my son's
they've still got a few years before a couple of years before they really make their decision on what music they really are into, where their path actually goes.
My son's been watching Cobra Kai and there's all this 80s music. So I heard him like screaming some Queen song before, and I'm like, whatever works.
Excellent.
Whatever works. So he was singing like The Show Must Go On or something. And I'm like, good for you. Go sing it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Man.
Right on.
That is so cool. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. I've heard about you, and we hear all kinds of stuff in this community. But I love good gear. I like gear that doesn't break. I like stuff you buy it, you have it. I made a comment about buying a pair of Italian loafers or a pair of Italian sandals, leather sandals that'll last a lifetime.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
my pleasure. Thank you guys. Listen, I'm always shocked that somebody wants to talk to me. So the fact that it's bringing up a conversation and we're respecting a musician that we all admire, it's just great. I love it.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
cool, man. That's so
Thank
cool.
you. Come
Absolutely.
here. We got to get you some of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We and me are going to talk. We
We
talked
are.
earlier.
No
I have
problem.
Lewis,
I have a need for a
we'll
couple of
give
things
you
There
a
you
few of
go.
these.
Perfect.
right
There you
there.
go.
How's
Right
that?
there.
Exactly.
Very,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. So while it's on my mind,
Yes. Don't forget.
I have a big announcement about next week.
Mm.
But before, speaking of a neck heavy guitar, but I love it, and I forgot to mention it in our conversation, our friend Brendan B. Squared
Oh, that's
makes
cool.
these really cool cigar box guitars.
They are so
Yeah,
custom. They are so cool.
That
Lenny
is very
Lou in
cool.
the chat owns one of those, the one with the kill switch, I think. And that bass on the left, look how gorgeous these things are.
I'm gonna
His
I'm gonna
links are down below.
I'm gonna show you the one I built a couple of years ago.
Oh, this is great.
Nice.
Look at this.
Oh,
Dude, that's a
lunchbox.
lunchbox,
Sweet.
bro.
Yeah, it's a Pilsner Urquell. It came with a case of 6 beers in there, and I turned it
Got the
into a guitar.
telly bridge. That's
Yeah,
so
that was
cool. My
good. Yeah,
goodness.
cool.
Oh man.
So those are
That's
cool guitars.
great. That's great.
A
Yeah.
lunchbox. Has he made a lunchbox, Charles?
No, he's done a rake, a shovel, a pitchfork.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He
He's
did a
done all
shovel for
kind of
John
things.
5 and gave it to him at a concert, and John did a I want to say put it up on social media. I'm trying to remember what avenue of media it was. I think it was Instagram, but he posted it almost immediately afterwards.
That's great.
Yeah, we love Brendan. Brendan's awesome, bro.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
but a lunchbox, you would have thought he would have made a lunchbox by now.
That is beautiful, man.
It's unfortunately the strings are so high that you could only use it for slide.
Wake Brendan up. Brendan.
Man, oh man, I have an old Scooby
Wake
Doo
his ass
lunchbox.
up.
I'm thinking.
That's great.
Oh,
Very cool,
man.
man.
And so those of you that want a custom guitar, our friend Neil couldn't be here, but his links are down below. If you want something that looks like that, or something else altogether different.
Yep.
Do you have yours nearby, Charles, or?
There he goes. He does.
He built me both of these.
Oh wow.
He built me both of these right here.
Tough to teach
I
you.
absolutely love them. They are awesome instruments. He relicked this one for me, and he relicked that one for me as well. Check out that. Look at that. Very nice. Love them. Absolutely love them.
Right on. Neil's links are always down below.
And I need a guitar strap for each one.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Get with Neil on your next build, and there it is.
I'll send you one of these. It's a record.
Dude, that's awesome.
Pickguard.
That is awesome. That's actually. Let me see that again. Let me see that again, please.
It's a pickguard made out of.
Oh, that's the vinyl album. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, you are so innovative and cool. This is
Well,
really,
it's
really
all Eddie.
cool stuff.
Eddie did this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just having fun at it.
Yeah, carrying it on, bro. That is so cool.
And if anybody says, show me your pick, and you reach in your pocket and nothing's there, that's because you hadn't called Greg at Legend Picks yet.
Nice.
So his links are down below. Get with Greg and get you a big bag of guitar picks. Yes.
Nice. I want a Gilmore pick. I think he used like a teardrop pick.
Yeah. Little ones.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
ones. Right.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I know that you also, you're known for this Edward Van Halen genre, but I believe that I heard a little bird told me something about guitar straps, like things for like George Lynch.
So yeah, I've made a couple of guitar straps to replicate some of the people I admired.
Okay.
George Lynch one. Funny story there. So we all know George Lynch bought G.E. Smith's 1960 Les Paul.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
From what I understand, the person who made the George Lynch strap made the strap for G.E. Smith.
Okay.
And so I'm guessing that when the guitar was sold to George Lynch, the strap was in the case, and that's what George was using with the guitar.
Makes
So
sense.
it's incorrectly noted as the George Lynch strap.
Okay.
But it's a strap that's been in the market. It's not my design, but I've worked with the person who owns that design to make them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I won't be making those anymore.
Okay.
I want to start making some original stuff. So
Excellent. So, for instance, having you create original gear themed, it can be in the theme of something.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Absolutely awesome. Fully functional gear, high quality. It's interesting. There's a trend. Like for instance, our friend Neil Daly, he builds tribute guitars, replicas, tributes. But he's changing up the norm. For instance, he did I think it was a purple 5150.
oh
The
nice,
stripes were all in purple on a white background.
yeah,
It's badass. I mean, it's absolutely badass looking. So there's a huge change now and a shift in all the community. Things that you pay tribute to, but are
correct,
not necessarily cloned after.
correct,
Uh,
correct.
and that's what I've got my eye on nowadays.
And
I'm trying to go
I,
that way.
you also have to. It's almost like your trivia question, Tony. You got to read it carefully. I'm not
Yes,
making any more replica straps,
yes,
but I'll
got it.
make Eddie inspired straps.
Sure,
So
gotcha.
yeah, well, like what you were saying before is right. Yeah, you can do the bomber strap in red and green and orange. I'm going to try to be a little bit more innovative than that, do something different. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's I've seen a green stripe, I've seen a black on black striped guitar. Um, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
inspiration to get from.
Mm-hmm.
I take inspiration from the white Les Paul that Eddie had too. It's
Sure.
not just the stripes. It's he
Yeah.
had Explorer. Even
Mm-hmm.
Phil X is a white Explorer, and he wanted to put the bomber on it because it says it reminds me of Eddie.
Excellent.
Right?
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Yes.
Um, we're gonna wind things down here, fellas. We're at 1:30. Let me tell you guys while he's still here, Adam Roach is gonna be here next Wednesday,
Nice.
right
21st.
here. Yeah,
21st.
right there.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait. It's going to be a super great show. Adam is super interesting. He's got a wonderful channel. He interviews
Broadcasting from the garden.
some
Oh,
incredible people. He's a
cool.
monster guitar player. Monster guitar player. Can't wait. I've got
Yeah.
something for you, Adam, by the way. When you get here, Halenville Live has got a little something for you, bro.
Surprises for
We got a little
next
something
week.
for Adam next week. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Adam's gonna be scared to even come into the lounge, Charles.
Yeah, that's okay. He'll make it.
He's gonna look in
He'll make
like
it.
this. Is the coast clear?
Absolutely.
Um, But yeah, so Adam's next week. And on Saturday here, we talk guitar picks and rock memorabilia. And this Saturday, coming up, we're going to be diving into the world of Loverboy. How
Oh,
do
nice.
you like it?
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Their last concert was wonderful. It was wonderful. I
Oh,
couldn't
you
believe it. I
recently
couldn't
saw
believe it.
them. That's
I couldn't
right.
believe
You
it. I did
did.
not expect it, and good God, they sounded just as good as they did back in the day.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so that is Saturday coming up. We'll talk all about Loverboy and more. We'll do some 10-shot rock and roll trivia, 10 questions for you, and we'll be giving away a guitar pick or two or three.
Excellent,
Um,
excellent.
yeah, we
Hey,
certainly
sometime
will.
I'd like to give away a set of the Van Halen press on nails,
Well, all right.
but
So
I don't know
Uh,
how to
I've
do it. I
seen
haven't.
the, does your daughter make those?
Yeah, she
I've seen
does.
that. Yes, I've
Um,
seen that.
I
so
want to
wait,
give.
well, wait a second, Charles. So last Wednesday, or it might have been on Saturday,
Mhm.
and somebody in the chat backed me up on Sandra. All right, I'm gonna hold you to this. You said in the live broadcast, you said you held up those nails, and Dane said,
You
"You
wanted a
gonna
pair.
wear those next Wednesday,
Oh,
Charles?" And you
that's
said,
right. He
"Oh,
sure
I'll
did.
rock them. I'll take one for the team."
I'll rock those nails any day. I just don't have anything to
You don't
ease
have
into
them
my
on,
fingertips. That's true. That's true. I don't want to mess this set up.
dude.
This is my show set,
I thought
but
you were gonna come prepared.
well, I am prepared with the chat. Watch this. Watch me spin this, bro. Anybody out there, if it's your wife, one of the guys out there, you have a wife, girlfriend, or one of the ladies in the chat. If you're interested in a set of these, on next week's show, I will, if it's okay with Tony, I'll
Hmm.
do a trivia question. We may fine tune it and we may play the game a little differently. However, um, I want to give a set of these away. Now you're going to have to go to her website and actually measure your fingertips. The ladies know what I'm talking about, and the guys have no clue. These are specific for each female. That's really all I know about them. So I want to give a set away because this is a Van Halen, and these are really nice, and you guys deserve it. So that's where we're going.
I thought you were gonna have them
You just want me to
on.
wear those darn nails, man. I'll tell
Yes,
you
I
what.
thought you were gonna have them on,
I'll tell
dude.
you what. I don't want to waste them. If I put them on my fingers, I'll mess them up.
Quick shout out to Andrew Carson. I just got an order from him, so I guess I'm shipping him more than one free strap. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Right
That is so
on.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I think Andy has a 5150.
Hmm.
I believe he's yeah.
But
Uh huh.
if he's okay with me sharing, he just ordered the Bumblebee strap, so I'm guessing he's got a
Right
Bumblebee.
on.
Yeah,
Very cool, man. That is so cool,
yeah.
man.
Nice.
This has been an absolutely fun show, you guys.
Yeah, it has.
Thank you
I've
very
enjoyed it.
much. I just enjoyed the heck out of this.
There's
It's so
Nelson.
cool.
Nice to see you, dude.
Right on, Nelson. It's good to
And
see you,
there's
brother.
Tim
Nelson
Thomas
Rodriguez.
too.
There he is.
Good
Hey,
to see you,
hey, Tim
bro.
Thomas is there too. Hey, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right
Excuse
Yeah,
on,
no,
me.
for me personally, thank you guys very much. Appreciate the
dude.
bringing me on and talking. And you can see I can talk to a doorknob for half an hour. So
This is
You're the
awesome,
perfect
Lewis.
guest, brother.
Yeah,
Perfect
man.
guest, man.
Thank you so much for being here, dude.
thank you guys.
This
Appreciate
is
it.
awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, we could go on and on all night long. Believe you me. And it's easy to do. I could easily look up and it be 1 a.m.
Yeah,
That's how things go around here.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. But all right. Well, let's wind things on down. Everyone, thanks so much for watching.
Great.
Lewis's website, his links are all down below. They'll be amended if needed after the show. And you'll find them there. He's easy to get in touch with. And thank you for the shirt too, man. I love it.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I will wear it proudly.
Some people will get the pin
Absolutely.
that I sent you as well. There's some debaters.
Yes.
There's
Let me show
we're
this.
doing a little pop up, a little gift with purchase.
Yeah.
Who remembers
Oh,
those?
that's cool. You know, is that a little pin? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
You know, those things were the rage in the early 80s. I had a leather jacket that I wore when I worked at the door of the whiskey, and
Yeah.
I had probably 35 of those. Every band had one. That was the thing. It wasn't guitar picks as much as it was one
Yeah.
of
Thank
those.
you, Lewis.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
That's
Yeah,
so
thank
retro,
you,
bro.
dude.
That's really cool. That's
The other
really
thing,
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this. The other thing I wanted to make that I never did for gift with purchase was to make a pencil that said on it, "I brought my pencil," but I never had the chance to do it. I've been too busy with other things. So if somebody wants to make a pencil that said, "I brought my pencil," give me something to write on.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome, bro. My goodness.
Um.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Lewis, this has been absolute fun and a long time coming, man.
Thank
We,
you.
him and we feel like we knew you already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're very
Yeah.
kind. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, great weekend. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you're not already. We appreciate you. Love Wednesdays. Have a good one.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
And
Charles. Thank
we
you, Charles.
are out of here.
Welcome,
Any
dude.
last words there, Charles Green?
Guys, this is Halenville. Around here, it doesn't matter if you go north, south, east, or west. Every single road is going to lead you straight to Van Halen. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your week. Do something for somebody for no reason whatsoever. And rock on. Take care, guys.
Peace out.
All roads.